ultimately, I'm always right.
He's got a point, doesn't he? I've always had confidence in him, even when things looked bleak, and things are looking anything but bleak right now. The hottest country in the world, you said it, everybody's happy, the economy's on the way up. We got girls on campus with those crazy sorority cheerleading videos all over the place. Look, not every day's a great day, but you can tell, right? There's some momentum here. And let's go through it. Some decent news. Actually, more than decent news. Take a look at this. $3.15 for a gallon of gas. That is the national average, according to our friends at Gas Buddy. And what was it? During the middle of the Biden administration, $5.01 a gallon. That's what it averaged out as. And right now, as we go into this Labor Day weekend, I think this is the lowest Labor Day, in 5 years. Lowest. And everyone's going to be getting in the car and driving, or getting on a plane, or maybe hanging around home, or maybe being with you on the Friday before Labor Day. I'm so happy to be here, actually. How about that? This is the last Friday in August. Anyway, let's keep going. Travel costs are on the decline. Awesome. I know that firsthand. I just took a vacation. Mortgage rates hit 10-month low. Outstanding. What else do we have? Dow, S&P 500, they're notching new, fresh records. All right. And let's see, GDP, the gross domestic product, is shattering expectations. Look, the White House has put out this data, and it's great. I really do think so. And look at how hard he's been working. Look at this. This is just from August of 2025. All of these images. He's everywhere. All the time. You know, presidents don't do this, especially during August. Bill Clinton, yo, taking it easy, kicking it in, I think he liked Martha's Vineyard, or he liked anywhere. I like anywhere where the girls are, you know what I mean? How about W and that silly ranch of his and the fake cowboy hat? Remember that routine? Couldn't stand that guy. Sorry, I'm bitter. I'm bitter about Iraq and a bunch of other things. And he tried to stick it to Trump during the campaign, both campaigns, because Donald Trump hurt his little brother's feelings. Jeb Bush, though, quite frankly, has been coming around. Obama, he didn't like to work in August. No way. Is that Obama over there? Yeah, you can kind of, for all of his coolness, he doesn't wear casual clothes well. He always dressed like a fourth grader, in my opinion. Back to President Trump in August of 2025. Look at this. These scenes are all from this month, different days, and we could probably fill in about 40 more, including the trip to Alaska. Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago tonight, trying to bring an end to a war. How about that? Now, we skipped his most immediate predecessor, didn't we? Joe Biden. Now, Joe, like every politician, when he was campaigning for the job, I will not rest. I will not rest until we bring Medicaid for all, or I'm going to not rest until we, right? Not rest, not rest, not rest. Until, of course, he got the job. And what did he do? He rested.
I will not rest. And I mean this from the bottom of I will not rest. I promise I will do everything in my power. I will not relent. We're not going to rest. Today, on this January day, my whole soul is in this. Bringing America together, uniting our people, uniting our nation. I pledge to be a president who seeks not to divide, but unify. I'm going to do whatever it takes to make progress on the matters that matter most. I won't let you down. I'll always keep fighting for you, and many others will.
That was a summer weekday in 2023. He had the job, and he was still the nominee, even though I knew he was not going to be. 530 days spent on vacation, right? He lied to us, everybody. He said he was going to not rest, but he did. Coasted. Sleepy. Meanwhile, back to the hottest country in the world right now. Let's face it, over the past, look, there were some ups and downs. It is a miracle. We have to appreciate it. I know there are tough things going on, but President Trump was literally in jail. They tried to kill him, and then he became the 47th president of the United States. And that, in and of itself, doesn't receive enough attention and awareness, really, even from me. Look at that. 44th, Biden, right? And he's back. I'm sorry, 45th and 47th, right? Yeah. It makes him kind of like, it makes Biden look very, very irrelevant and small. And the two bookend presidencies of President Trump, I mean, it's almost sweeter this way, that it came out this way. Granted, we would have missed a lot of war and a lot of heartache had he been cleanly reelected in 2020. But all right, moving on, if you don't mind. Now, this is tough, very, very tough. The two beautiful little angels who were killed at that school church shooting in Minneapolis. Harper Moisky, is it? 10 years old, and Fletcher Merkel, 8 years old. Why do these things happen? We'll know someday when we meet him, but it's tough. It's very tough. It's also kind of tough to realize that this has been socially engineered by our culture over the past, 15 years? From Hollywood to Joe Biden, of course, Democrats in general, the media, they went bananas with this transgender stuff, that it was so good, so pure, so beautiful. And people like this fell for it. The pathetic shooter. Oh, before we do this, I forgot. I'll get to the shooter in a moment. We have this footage. This is the immediate aftermath of the shooting. And takes a few moments here, but we're going to watch what we have. It's not as loud as I thought it would be. These kids are very, very brave, and so are the adults.
Where are they? Where's the shooter? Where's the shooter? No one knows. Oh my gosh. We gotta go in. Oh my gosh.
Everybody in that church deserves our prayers. They're going to need them. I told you, I once saw a scary movie when I was 7 years old that screwed me up for 3 years. But they saw that in real life. And then kids across the country, what is it like for them at this moment? And for adults, it's traumatizing. It's nationally traumatizing. And it was engineered. It was all artificial. None of this should have happened. That shooter, you know, murderous and evil, but perhaps, you know, if the culture didn't go haywire, this wouldn't have happened. This was brought on by the culture. That mother, I know people have been really hard on her, but maybe she watches, I don't know, Good Morning America and thinks that trans is beautiful, or the Today Show, or whatever. Netflix, turn it on. This was embraced by the culture, not us, right? But by the dominant media. This is beautiful. Oh, let's have a coming out party, this or that, balloons, festivals, parades. That's the shooter there. And we know, actually, I don't think everybody knows sufficiently, that in that diary, in that manifesto, Robert Weston wrote that he was tired of being trans. What else did he write? I wish I never brainwashed myself. Now, one point if you don't mind. The country brainwashed you. The country brainwashed this guy. Evil, yes. The devil is at work, but the devil is sometimes on Channel 4 doing their dastardly stuff, doing his horrible deeds. Next, please. I regret being trans. I wish I was a girl. I just know I cannot achieve that body with the technology we have today. I also can't afford that. You know, from Laverne Cox to other famous transgender people, right? This was, I don't want to dress trans. I regret being trans. What does it say here? I don't want to dress girly all the time, but I guess sometimes I really like it. I know I am not a woman, but I definitely don't feel like a man. All of this stuff. Is there one more, please? That's it. Go back to the one before it, if you don't mind. Just one slide. I regret being trans. I wish I was a girl, blah, 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 blah. I regret being trans. Now, how could this idea have entered that guy's head? I don't think it would have happened 20 years ago. I know it wouldn't have happened. He wasn't being bombarded by vicious crap like this that masquerades as something wholesome when it's evil.
Met them 5 years ago. 3 young people, kids really, who identified as transgender. So what has life been like for them growing up trans? Rita Braver has our Sunday morning cover story.
2 transgender high school runners, well, they're kicking up dust in Connecticut, taking the top spots at the state girls championship.
Reporting on the trans community for more than a decade, I've spent time with transgender activists
and no more murders,
civil rights lawyers, newsmakers.
Who is Chelsea Manning? I'm just me. It's as simple as that.
Filmmakers capturing trans joy.
You should try one on. Oh my gosh. Queen, yes.
Let's be clear. Transgender women are women. Transgender men are men. Period.
And if you say otherwise, you're in trouble. We're going to cancel you. We're going to call you a transphobe. Maybe I'm going to sign up for the transphobic label, honestly. I am kind of scared, and I think this guy should have been scared, and his family should have been scared of all the crap we just saw. Transphobic, by the way, that's a very bad thing to be. They said it over and over again, right? It's the worst thing in the world almost, transphobia.
Now to our Pride Month series, GMA Out Loud. And this morning, we're taking a closer look at transgender youth in sports and the legislative threats they face. Juju Chang is here with the story. Good morning, Juju.
Good morning, Michael. Good morning, guys. You know, some lawmakers say this is about fairness and common sense. But critics say these laws hurt the most vulnerable. And caught inside this raging debate are a relatively tiny number of trans young people who say they just want to play sports without being singled out.
They just want to cheat at sports. They want to change their gender without standing out, being singled out. Critics say, I'm a critic. I'm saying it's an abomination. We all know it. How did they get away with this for as long as they did? This is now life and death stuff. All right, now the transphobia stuff, transphobic. At this stage in the game, what's wrong with being transphobic? But the weird thing is, these guys are actually transphobic. They're a bunch of hypocrites. Watch what they say, but they don't live up to it.
It was a 5-minute transphobic tirade masquerading as feminism.
So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic, and it opens up trans people to violence by not recognizing them.
Wow. Many saying the jokes he's made in his new special crossed the line and are transphobic and dangerous.
And dangerous. We have a serious trend. The trans people are not being harmed. The trans people are doing the harming, right? That seems to be prevalent, very much so. And this shooter fell for it. What was that word? Tired of being trans. And also, what was the other thing they said? Being brainwashed, and regret being trans. All of it. Said it out loud. Now, why won't the media acknowledge something? Or even, look, let's face it, it's interesting. It's part of the story. It was in the damned manifesto, and we've seen it. We've seen chunks of it, so it's definitely part of the story. Last night, I went through all the major networks, right? Tom Yamas, David Muir, whoever's on CBS, and they wouldn't say the word trans. We watched the morning shows today, huh? Well, where's the balloons? Where's the trans stuff? They won't utter the word. Every time they got to talk about this guy, they do a little dance and they get the hell out